Hello and welcome. I'm going to be sharing some information around toxic familiarity. And as you may know, and if you're familiar with the tarot, this is the Devil card. And I'd like to chat about the traits of the Devil card, but how it relates to our experiences that we have within ourselves and how it translates with our experiences in life. Now, the Devil card in tarot, if you're familiar with tarot, holds a very significant value of attachments. And at the base foundational level of the Devil card, it is very much pertaining to choice. Now, we have choices to make in our life with everything. Our life is a construct of choices. We make choices on a very conscious and a very subconscious level every moment of the day. We choose what to feed our body with. We choose when to wake up in the morning. We choose how to dress. We choose the friends that we want. We choose the day that we want to have ahead of time or in that moment. So our whole day is a opportunity for choices, to make choices in how we want to design and create our day and how we want to experience our day. And so the Devil card in tarot very much signifies the choices that we have with areas that limit us. Now, the toxic familiarities with our mindset. So in the traditional tarot, the Devil has the star over top of its head and it is upside down. And it's meaning that the logic is overriding the heart. So the logic, the mind is overriding the other abilities to discern or to observe life or observe choices in a way of maybe the truth or in a way of alignment with our values or what's important for us. Now, I'm sure you've been in a situation before, maybe a relationship or a family member or even a work partnership or a work situation where you've invested your time into a particular situation or relationship that was really unhealthy. And oftentimes we become very familiar with this energy and it becomes part of our life that weighs us down, that isn't very healthy for us. But we have a choice. We have a choice to leave. Now, sometimes it's easier said than done. There's always a way out. There's always a way out. And again, going back into the illustration of the tarot of the Devil card, there's a man and a woman on the card. They have chains around their necks and those chains are tied to a post. But the chains are very loose around their necks, signifying that we have the choice to escape any situation at any time. So it's up to us to reflect onto why are we in that situation and why can't we free ourselves from it. Now, again, it could be anything from the mindset, old subconscious beliefs that may be playing in with the familiarity of that certain situation. For example, relationships are a good one because I'm sure that a lot of us can relate in some kind of way to relationships that we've become familiar with, maybe on an intimate level. That have some kind of familiarity to maybe our parents or to our family lifestyle or dynamic when we were younger, that maybe wasn't healthy. And then in later life, we end up attracting that same situation in some kind of form. So it becomes very familiar and it becomes very intoxicating and it's very difficult to break away from, even if it's very, very unhealthy. There's something inside that is resisting leaving it. Or even friendships, or even how we treat ourselves, or addictions. They all come from somewhere. There's a root cause for everything, for all of this. And it really does come into play within the subconscious. So the subconscious, and if you've caught a lot of my other videos, this is one of the areas that I am very much focused on right now, is going into the subconscious and why. And you may have caught maybe some of my other material when I was really young. I questioned everything. I was not satisfied until I knew the very source, root cause of certain matters. And when I was really young, I would piss my family off constantly because I was always asking why this, why that? And they would basically just tell me to shut up because I was just so inquisitive and I wasn't really satisfied with surface level answers. I wanted to go deeper. And so this is where now my work has led me, is to in the subconscious. And this is the root of many, many things that we, many experiences that we have in our life and many decisions that we make in our life as well. So when we become familiar with something, it can become obvious as to the situation that that a person may invest into that might be very unhealthy, but there may be an acceptance of that dynamic, even though it is very unhealthy. If you've grown up, or if anyone has grown up in a very toxic family environment, then that toxicity can very well, again, influence the future or influence our present moment. And even though it's not healthy, there's part of us that's still going to be very comfortable with it, still be very comfortable with that toxic environment or a toxic attachment. What is that belief that is holding us into a limitation? Now, that limitation could be anything from lack, maybe even fears. I've mentioned this also in my other video of the subconscious belief system. So I recommend watching that as well, because it will play in and it ties into this very subject of the toxic familiarity or the toxic relationships that we might find ourselves entangled within. Now, as I mentioned, this can pertain to relationships. It can pertain to how we treat our body. It can pertain to, again, yes, very much addictions. At the very root of it all lies our subconscious, for influencing the decisions that we make. So how can you determine if you are in the devil energy? Well, I'm going to use the devil energy to basically explain relationships, addictions within self, within our mindset, the limitations that we have holding us back. It's observation. And as I mentioned in my other video, awareness is key. And it sometimes takes a lot of time to break free from those habits or those patterns that we've developed since childhood or early life. And I've been in many of them. And I still in some way, sometimes they play out in the present moment, and I'm very aware of it. It's very sneaky sometimes, even with my own habits. I have to be very cautious of what choices am I making that are going to be healthy for me, but also create a positive impact in my future. So whatever we do today has an impact on tomorrow, has an impact in some kind of way within our body, within our mindset, within relationships, within our success, all of it, right? So the choices that we make, all of the choices, it's a little bit of that cause and effect. What the decisions that we make and the actions that we take has some kind of repercussion, has some kind of effect afterwards. And so it's great to start to develop discernment and almost think a few steps ahead. What if I make this decision, if it's again with family or friends or maybe diet or health wellness or mindset? What is going to happen if I make this decision? What is it going to create in my long term? And if we're used to having toxic friendship circles or family dynamics, if we feed into that energy, if we allow it in, then we're only going to create bigger problems in the future, maybe tomorrow or the day after or a month after, or however it plays out. So family is very difficult. Relationships are very difficult, but there's nothing wrong with creating distance from that energy until maybe a later date when it may turn into something a bit more positive, or until we ourselves decide to create space for something completely different and completely better. Remember, your life is completely available for you to design, not for anyone else to design and not for anyone else to influence. But we allow people to influence our life, and we allow people to come into our life that may not necessarily be healthy for us. But we are at the center of our life, but we often give our power away to many situations and other people. So we need to bring our power back. We need to bring our center back into alignment within us of our values, of what is important for us, of what is healthy for us, and starting to make decisions from that place of alignment. And being aware, of course, of the belief systems, but not allowing our energy to be given out to situations that are going to be toxic and hold us down. Now, within the mindset, it's very important to be aware of the limitations or anything that is weighing us down or holding us back from fully enjoying life, from trying new things, from being open to love, from stepping out of the comfort zone, from opening up to a relationship that you want that's going to be in alignment with yourself. And sometimes we have to give things time. And there's no rush to be in a relationship. There's no rush to create great change in life. Great change happens over time. And it all starts within ourselves. And when we are going through transformation, we have to give ourselves some space to go through that as well. And if you're going through transformation, if you're going through quite a dramatic change in your life, it's great to really give yourself some space and be by yourself to understand that, to understand what you want, what's important for you, what's healthy for you, and what kind of life you want to create as your result, moving out of the transformation. And it's really important to not invite toxicity in, even if it means to cut out some family members, and even if it means to cut out some friends or leave a relationship that isn't healthy. And it is hard. It is so difficult, because when you do that, if you're in, or if you have relationships around you that are very unhealthy, they may have become familiar from a place of the subconscious, or from a deeper place of comfortability, right? So it's really important to see, where is that lying, and why am I connected to that type of energy? And again, go back into your past, go back into your family, go back into your parents' relationships, how your parents acted, how your parents, again, treated love, the perception around love. And a lot of us too haven't, if we're human, if we have had a human experience, a lot of us haven't really experienced true love, true, authentic, expansive, limitless love. So if we haven't experienced true, authentic, limitless, free, expansive love, then it's very difficult for us to know what we want when we think of the feeling of love. And I'm talking about love from friendships, from family, from within self, and of course, relationships. If we haven't experienced true love, how do we know what love really is? This is part of our discovery process. And this is also too why you may be going through this process, to discover that. Who am I? What kind of relationships do I want? What kind of love do I want? What kind of family dynamics do I want? And for myself, I had to cut out family for years, for a very, very, very significant portion of my life, because it wasn't healthy. And I had to look after myself. And because of that, because I also gave myself some time to focus on myself and to heal myself, now the family dynamic has actually healed and has changed. And there are hardly any triggers anymore within our family dynamics. I said hardly. It's not 100%, but it is so much better than before. And especially with relationships, intimate relationships, when you know what love really is and truly is for you. And sometimes we have to go through relationships to figure it out. Okay, this doesn't work for me. Oh, this didn't really make me feel so great. Or this one was, like way too controlling and way too limited. So whatever you have to go through, then you know more and more and more what true love really is, what an expansive experience with love really is. And it's difficult, especially in that area, because a lot of us are trying to figure it out. A lot of us haven't felt the all-expansive expression of love. We came from that expression, but we've lived an entire life of other experiences, right? Limited experiences within the 3D, very limited, very confined, very traumatic. And so we're moving into a space now where we can go back into that expansive 5D consciousness expression of love and creation and experiences. And so this is part of our journey. And this is not one straight shot right to the goal, even though if you get there like that, that's awesome. Please let me know how you did it. Because from my experience so far, it's been very, very twisty and turny. It's up and down and sideways, and there are so many different aspects to this. It isn't black and white. Unfortunately, it is a very, very multicolored experience, right? So there are so many different ways to maneuver through this energy and to understand self and to create relationships. But remember, at the core essence of it all, you are in the driver's seat. You're at the center of your experience in your life. Now, a lot of people show up in our life to teach us things about ourselves. maybe to teach us detachment of things that don't work, maybe to be in our power, maybe to be more confident with our voice, maybe to express ourselves more, maybe to be more discerning, maybe to write a list with regards to the kind of relationship you want, whatever this is. Those relationships all teach us something. Even again, family or work environment or friendships, any kind of relationships, they all apply. And so it's all up to us to create according to what is going to be in alignment with who we really are and what we really want to experience from a very fulfilled and very, well, whatever your journey is, essentially, and to move towards something more fulfilling, something better. But maybe we don't know what that end result is going to be until we go through some of these situations, until we can identify what works, what doesn't work, who am I, what does love mean for me, what kind of relationships do I want. But remember to, as much as you can, to have fun, to enjoy the process, to not take it so seriously. And we put a lot of pressure on ourselves, especially when we're in difficult situations, especially when we're in the devil energy, right? Into those attachments that are just really unhealthy for us. It's okay to have those feelings, but try to separate yourself from that situation and observe the dynamic from the outside and try and see what is it teaching me? Why is it here? And does it really, really align with my values, with who I am and the kind of relationship that I want? And again, this energy can also play into our own self-worth, not just relationships, our own self-worth, our own confidence, our lack and limiting beliefs, resistance to step out of our comfort zone, resistance to put ourselves out there. There's a little bit of that energy as well within us that we need to identify, to let go, so that we can move towards something greater, so that we can take that step forward, so that we can maybe change something within our body, within our mindset, within our environment, however it plays out. But it's all connected. It's all connected. And the aspect or the ability to be comfortable with something that isn't necessarily healthy for us is a learning process. Some of it, again, is going to be very obvious. Some of it is going to be very subconscious because we may be operating in subconscious programming with something that is very toxic. So again, observation, awareness is key. Looking at life as an observer, looking at situations from detachment, and being very discerning of what, again, works for you and what makes you feel good at the core level, what aligns with you from the values perspective. And maybe the mindset needs to change. Maybe the belief system needs to change. Maybe perception needs to change. So again, you are the center of your life, of your reality, and of your world that you create. So I hope this video offered some guidance when you need it the most. And I will be seeing you very soon. Until next time, take care.